YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we are gonna talk about Goblin Bikers. Now, I was really excited for this to come out. Minor problem with this is that it's not really complete. We still have like 3 supports needed for this deck. Well, typically 2 significant ones. The other one is like a minor one. Regardless, it's still pretty good in a sense because there are some non-engines for the Goblin Bikers or non-archetype cards that can help out into spell summoning some level 3s to the field. Now, it might not be like a super powered card that can go up against Tenpais, but there are some situations where you can actually defeat Tenpais. The reason for this is that you can absorb their cards on the field. As long as you detach one material from an EXE card on the field, this card's effect to trigger and absorb one monster on the field is priceless. Just absorbing their monsters, their boss monster on the field or their significant card on the field is just so priceless. Yeah, basically you have a ton of 1-card starters. Speed rate is way better if you have this plus a copy of Underworld. You have your Spell Summon and then your Normal Summon, gaining 2 EXE monsters on the field. If you have more materials than that, you can gain access to a copy of Utopic Draco feature, which is a pretty good card for a negate. Regardless, we're also running a copy of Kashtira, the Wraith Soth, and the Fenrir. Now, these are just your only 2 Kashtira cards you want to use. The reason why I want this on the field is ever your opponent uses a monster effect and then they have the field spell, then you can just use the Fenrir to remove the field spell, and then you can still use the effect of your EXE monsters to absorb the monsters or their monsters if ever they have 1 face-up monster in the field, which is kind of neat as well. Now, this is a pretty good go first deck, not really that too reliant up against Tenpais. One minor downside for the deck is they don't really have like a negate per se, but just some interruptions that you can actually use with the deck. But the ups for this deck is that there are some significant level 3 monsters that can help you out into like the monster negations, which is the Cicada King. This one number 26, Spaceway Octo Bypass, is that at the start of the battle phase, you can detach 1 material from this card. During the battle phase, a player can only attack 1 monster and its attack becomes a direct attack. So, if you're a Tenpai player, you can only attack 1 monster in the field, which is not the best way to go if you're going for an OTK. So this is a pretty good card on defense, which is not half bad for a defense. 2,400, really not half bad. And you can detach 1 material during the battle phase, triggering the effect of Big Gabonga, and then absorbing 1 monster in the field. If they want to trigger the effect, might as well go for it. Some other level 3s that can be used as well, or rank 4s I would say. Full Armored Utopic Ray Lancer. Discard 1 spell or trap. You can summon this on the field. Another good card as well during the battle phase. So at the start of the battle phase, you can negate the effects of all attack position monsters your opponent controls. That is a pretty strong effect. The Full Armor Dark Lancer as one of your significant cards to absorb 1 card on the field, and then gain attack power as well. Now, if your opponent doesn't have the field spell, their 3k monster can't even go beyond that OTK ceiling. So they need the field spell to pop and then doubles their attack and then go for an OTK. If they can't go beyond 6k, then they actually lose the game right there. We are running the Gammas as well, pretty good card up against any hand traps for that matter. Easy as that, you can spam level 3s on the field, have a variety of choices from the extra deck as well for your rank 3s. I think that's basically it. Oh yeah, we only have 2 Link monsters, which is the Unicorn and a copy of SP Little Knight if ever you're forced to go second and you want to remove some significant cards on the field as well. So those are your extra deck and that is your main deck. I have 5 game replays for you guys today just for this deck alone. So I'll see you guys on the replays. Okay guys, so here we are with the replays. Our first game replay is up against Tenpai, and we chose to go first because, you know, we want to set up the board here. So like I said earlier, a pretty good starter is a copy of Terror Top and a copy of Underworld Goddess. Or no, sorry, Tour Guide from the Underworld. Underworld Goddess. And luckily, we already got a copy of the Grand Bash and a copy of Grand Entrance. So pretty good cards as well. If your opponent drops a copy of Maxi, we have Ash Blossom. So let's start off this combo here. So we go Spell Summon our Terror Top here. Go for a copy of Tekatamburg or Take Tomborg. I think that's the word. Our opponent drops a copy of Maxi. We luckily have an Ash Blossom here. And then we continue on with the combos. So just go with Tekitambor, get a copy of Big Gabunga on the field. One summon, gain access to one Goblin Biker card. Sadly, we got Imperm. Now, in the typical format nowadays, this is basically what will happen. So hand traps are very prominent here. Regardless, it's still pretty good though. We have the entrance to gain access to a copy of Dog Charger. Spell summon that, and then normal summon a copy of our tour guide. Going to a copy of Torpedo from the 2 level 3s. Detach 2, draw 1, pretty good card as well for an Ash Blossom, and go into a copy of Fortress. Detach 1 again, get a copy of the Trap card, and then lastly, for our Malicious something? I forgot the name of this card. Mean Merciless, sorry. Mean Merciless on the field, as long as you have it in the graveyard. Now, majority of the Goblin Bikers have effects in the graveyard. 1 or 2 cards are on quick play or quick effect during important turn. But we don't have that one here at the moment. Regardless, it's perfectly fine. So, it could have been pretty good though if this wasn't negated. I forgot that this was negated. Could have gained access to 1 attachment. Regardless, during opponent's turn, he gets into a Dark Ruler no more, and this guy is using Tenpai for some reason. So we still survive because this guy doesn't know how Tenpai works. So he goes for a copy of Pydra here, trying to get a 1 card, but luckily we have an Ash Blossom. He already got a copy of Chundra there. Not half bad because he doesn't have the field spell. So all we need to do is just absorb 1 card on the field, and he can't chain block it because we got he's not on battle phase. Sad to say, he was fully loaded though. He got a copy of Kaimin, go into a copy of Genroku, spell summon Genroku, spell summon again another copy of Chundra, go for battle phase, use the effect of Chundra, spell summon a copy of Phaedra to the field, or Fadra, spell summon the other level 3s, and like I said earlier, if he doesn't have the field spell, he can't attack above full armor Dark Lancer. So it's up to him what he can do with this lineup here. And the best part about this is my monster can't be destroyed by card effect or targeted, to be honest, because if the equipped monster is an XZ monster, your opponent can target this with card effects. So they need to target that first. And sad to say, he can't go beyond 3k. So he just wants to pop 1 card and nothing happens. On our next turn, we are free to move, or free to do our combo here. Reinforcement, gain access to 1 other warrior monster. Go for a copy of our Grand Entrance. And like I said earlier, the effect of this Grand Bash is pretty insane. So Goblin monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Goblin monster you control. So this actually stacks to more if you have more Goblin Biker names on the field. So pretty good effect though. Spell summon another one from the field with the help of the Clatter. Detach 1. And that's will take the effect of Big Gabunga gaining access to the Transcendent Dragon. And that's how he scooped the game. So that's game number 1. Let's move on with game number 2. Okay, so game number 3, we are going up against, I think this is Kashtira and Horus, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, just Kashtira. The 4th one was Kashtira and Horus. So, 3rd game, we are going up against Kashtira. A pretty good deck to go up against Goblin Bikers. So he's going first, just setting a couple of cards and just end his turn here. Now this is the solemn cards he's gonna set here. So yeah, Kashtira using solemn cards. Very funny. So he's gonna go for solemn warning, and since we don't have really a pretty good counter to most of these cards, and we actually brick here. Regardless, breaking on Gamma, Veiler, and a copy of Ash Blossom, it's not half bad. Anyways, he's gonna spell summon a copy of Unicorn. We will negate it with Gamma here, but a 2nd copy of Solemn Warning will do the trick, negating that effect. Regardless, it's perfectly fine though. He's gonna get a copy of Theosis here. I was scared if he's getting a copy of Birth, but yeah, Theosis is fine. He used the effect of Ash Blossom for his Theosis. And then he's just going to go for an attack here. So we're practically saved here on 4k life points for our opponent. Regardless, we're good. Next turn, we got a 1 card that would be pretty useful for us. Going for Tour Guide, getting a copy of Merciless. He's gonna banish Fortress for some reason, not half bad. But we're gonna go for Big Gabonga, my guy, and then since his life points is just 4k, we can do an OTK. Go for Dug Charger, spell summon to the field, gaining access to the continuous spell, detach 1 and absorbing 1 from the Big Gabonga, which is pretty good. There we go, and then we gain access to our Grand Bash. And since we actually used, or since our Merciless is in the graveyard and we have 1 card to detach, we'll use the effect of Merciless from the graveyard and then use the effect of Grand Bash to do an OTK. So like I said, Goblin monsters gain 300 attack for each Goblin monsters in the field. So that is game, and that is game number 3. Let's move on with game number 4. Okay, game number 4. This is gonna be a slow game. Regardless, we have a Great Sot called by Goblin Biker Dug Charger, Ash Blossom, and Imperm here. So we're still going second up against Kashtira Horus. Okay. Sorry, you guys gonna go for Unicorn here. We go for Imper. There we go. We definitely don't want the search. Pretty good, by the way, because he actually bricked on his hand for some reason. Anyways, we go for a copy of Great Sot here, gaining access to the Fenrir. Fenrir will be spell summoned and normal summoning our Ash Blossom since we don't have a pretty good starter. And like I said, this usually happens if you're going with Goblin Bikers. If you only have 1 Goblin Biker name on hand, it's not a 1-card starter. It may grant you an advantage as long as you have another Goblin Biker available for you. On the next turn, he's gonna go for Fenrir here. Now I was really hoping that he would it won't summon the effect of Kashtira, Scareclaw, but it still does for some reason. That's pretty good though. I did not know that. But anywho, so he's gonna use the effect of Fenrir. We will negate it. We still have the Omni Negate from the Imperm, by the way. As a Baron the Floor, by the way. So it's not half bad. He's going for the Shangri-Ira, which is a pretty bad choice on his part because he doesn't know that I'm using Goblin Bikers. So the neat effect about this is that I can use the Dug Charger on his Shangri-Ira. So yeah, there we go. Remove 1 negate, we go for Dug Charger, detaching 1. Dug will get us a copy of Grand Entrance. Grand Entrance will allow us to get this card, and then normal summon that. Go into a copy of Big Gabonga, gaining 1 more card to our hand. Getting a copy of Boom Mac. Boom Mac will be activated, detach 1, and once we detach, we absorb. And that's it. Go for battle and end the game here. That's game number 4. Let's move on with game number 5. Okay, game number 5, we're going first as usual. So we have Tour Guide, a copy of Clatter, 1 Fenrir, Emergency Teleport, and a copy of Called By. So pretty nice hands, to be honest, and also a counter against Maxi. Maxi is the only problem here if you're going up against Tenpais, to be honest. And as long as they don't have the field spell, you're winning most of your games against Tenpai here. So anyways, Kashtira on the field, going for a Tour Guide. Our guy is going to go for Ash Blossom. Luckily, we have a copy of Emergency Teleport. And go into a copy of Big Gabonga from the 2 level 3s that we have. We'll try to get a 1 card, but we got Imperm. So yeah, this guy was pretty good on hand traps at this point. So we can't do anything else. This isn't pretty good if you have it on hand. This would be pretty good if you have it in the graveyard. Regardless, it's still perfectly fine because our guy's gonna go for Kaiman and still doesn't have the field spell, by the way. So we're still hoping for that. And there we go. Go for Pydra. Try to banish that card, but sadly he has Forbidden Droplet. So another good counter against our own effects. There we go. Now my only solution for this OTK is going for Battle Phase, and if he summons that early for some reason, and then Monster Reborns that, we just called by that monster, and then that's basically it. 1 monster on the field that can only do 1 attack. So he needs to choose either the Fenrir, accessible for us in the next turn, or a copy of Big Gabonga, which absorbs his monster here. So he chose the Fenrir and end his turn here. Regardless, we're pretty good attaching 1 monster to our monster here, so we can just have that sent to the graveyard. Regardless, we got a good starter, by the way, for Tertop, and then go into a copy of Takitamberg, gain access to the Torpedo. And we have lethal already. Detach, use the effect of Bigabonga, absorb, go into a copy of Fortress, detach, and the purpose for the Utopic Ray here. So detach one, to spell summon the Ray Lancer to the field, and discard one spell or trap card from our hand. So this one sent to the graveyard. We can use the effect to banish and summon our full armor Lancer to the field. There we go, full armor. Use the effect of the trap card, attach one. That's 5,900, so plus 2,5, we have lethal. So that is our games for today, guys. What are your thoughts on the Goblin BIKERS? I do think that they still need the 2 supports. Regardless, they're pretty fun. If you want to try it, you only need like 2 URs for this deck, and that is from the extra deck. So tell me your thoughts. I'll see you guys on the next video. The stream will be on tomorrow. Or today, if I'm gonna upload it today, and then just check on my schedule in YouTube. Anyways, that's it for today. Keep safe, good luck. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.